Pairings Culinary Center in downtown Geneva has only been open a few months, but has gotten lots of traffic and an award from Lake Erie Living magazine.
Well, obviously, Lake Erie Living deals with a little bit all around Lake Erie, from the north coast to where we are on the southern coast of Lake Erie. So you have some establishments both in Canada and the United States. Just a wonderful issue, wonderful magazine, and of course, something that kind of keeps us up to date, being residents of this area also, on what's going on and what there is to do and what new ventures are taking place, such as Parings. So we were actually the new wine experience for Lake Erie in the Lake Erie Living magazine, and which is a wonderfully exciting award to get after only being open for about 8 weeks now. So I think it's something that's, obviously we're all excited about this project, and it's nice to know that the community and that the editors of someone like Lake Erie are really excited about it.
It'll be a little different than what they're used to, I would think.
Exactly. We are a wine and culinary experience. We're not a winery. We are here to represent and help promote all the wineries in Ohio, actually. And I think we've been doing a great job at that. We're constantly sending people down the road. If they find something they like here, we send them down the road to visit that winery, or we suggest places if people are in town looking for something, a certain experience, music on the patio, or somewhere that has a full restaurant, or even someone that might not be into wine, or maybe the wife is into wine and the husband really wants a beer, and we say, go down to Debonais, they have a brewery. So, as well as sending people to and exploring the wineries outside of this region. Valley Vineyards down by Cincinnati, Ohio has been a crowd favorite when they come in. And we even had a group that came up from Cincinnati, came into this facility, and they live like 10 minutes away from Valley Vineyards, and they like big dry reds, and they said they have never been to Valley Vineyards because they thought it was only sweet wines, but they live 10 minutes away. The woman said, I pass it every day on my way to work. And they love their wines. They brought some of them. They actually bought some from here to take back to Cincinnati with them. And we're planning a trip or a stop at the winery. So it's just kind of funny, but you can, and I actually told them they have to tell Valley Vineyards that they found out about them in Geneva, Ohio. So
they drive 5 hours away to find out.
Exactly, what's in their own backyard, and sometimes that's how it happens. But there's also been groups locally from this area and from out of the area that have tasted wines and are kind of looking at different wine regions for their next maybe little weekend getaway. They're thinking maybe we'll go down to the Dover, Coshocton area because they like some of the Breitenbach wines and that we have here. So, it just really, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're ambassadors for the wineries, for the agricultural areas. Our food menu is getting ready to expand, so we'll do more of a lunch menu. And again, we've been developing that for a while, but we want to make sure we have the right products on it, and we're using quality Ohio-made products. We're continuing to use Middlefield Creamery and Mackenzie Creamery and some cheese manufacturers in the kind of Dover area also. So in saying that, it's, in expanding our menu, it's just making sure that we have exactly the quality products that we think we want to pass on to our customers to get them, again, excited about what's happening in Ohio, to get them excited about Ohio businesses and products. We do sell local wines, but we don't have the entire collection of any local winery. We might have one or two to highlight from local wineries, which quite honestly only helps us to direct them. Once we can talk to a customer, kind of walk them through sometimes a sensory tasting, or sometimes just talk to them and kind of see what their likes are. Are they new to wine? Are they experienced wine drinker? Then we can guide them through a flight. Our wines are divided up into flights, which are groupings of like-style wines. We can walk them through a flight, and then a lot of times we do end up, depending on what they like from the tastings they've done here, directing them to a local winery. Not a full service restaurant. We are keeping it still a light bites menu, although we've had, because of how we're situated close to the downtown, we've had a lot of local businesses and companies really ask if we might consider doing a lunch menu or a little bit more substantial food menu. And we are going to start that this coming week. But again, they're light bite type of open face sandwiches and some things that you can really enjoy while you have a group of friends around, enjoying a bottle of wine also. So it won't be a full service restaurant. We're really not set up to be a full service restaurant. We are set up with our kitchen area behind me here to be more of an educational spot. We open at noon every day, and any day from noon until when we close, you can come in and you can sit down at our tasting bar, sit down here at a table and enjoy a flight of wine. As I said, a flight is 5 tastes of like style wines. With that said, you don't have to, we have suggested flights such as a dry red flight or a white flight or a rosé flight or a native grape flight. You don't have to stick to that. You can kind of pick and choose things. A lot of times people just want to taste wineries that they might not be familiar with if they're from the area, or if they come up here often, maybe wineries that they haven't tried before. So you don't have to stick exactly to what we suggest for you, obviously. But with that said, we will then personally guide you through your wine flight and the tasting and tell you a little bit and a little history on sometimes the winery, sometimes the production, sometimes the grape varietal. We really are meant to be an educational facility. We also do offer sensory tastings. Sensory tastings are something you have to schedule in advance because it does take some setup time to get them ready. We actually have the Kitchen Culinary Center set up for one this afternoon that we're doing with a group of about 30 to 40 women.
So if you've got a club or an organization or do something different.
Yeah, come on in, give us a call and we can set up a sensory tasting for you. And what a sensory tasting does, it's really like a palate training. So it teaches your palate to separate the sour from the sweet, from the dry, from the acid, like what you're tasting in the different components of wine and how you taste them on your palate. And then to be able to separate them and pull them out of wine. So it's really interesting.
It doesn't even start out with wine, does it?
No, it's like a sugar water and a lemon water and a honey water. So no, it's literally just being able to distinguish where you're tasting those tastes on your palate. Something that's great for a corporate type of event also when they're looking to do something a little different. And then with that said too, we've also done a lot of corporate or a few corporate team building type of events here in the cooking studio, which is just, taking our mission to the next level into more the agricultural and culinary side. And we've done some events where we have a company come in and they divide up into teams and they all get charged with making a certain part of their dinner for that evening, and the chef guides them through it and takes them through it, and that's just a really great kind of team building experience. We have classes on pairing foods and wines. We have classes on, actually we have a demonstration coming up during Grape Jamboree weekend that will be cooking with wine. We do dinners once a month, and we just had ours this past week, and it was a tapas dinner where we paired a different wine with the 4 courses. And kind of talked about, during the dinner, the chef came out and talked about the course and the food and how it was prepared and the flavors you were going to taste. And then I actually talked about how that translates into pairing a wine with that food and why you pick certain wines, because they're higher in acidity or they're the sweetness level might work with the food better, the acidity works with the food better, or, with just really about how to pair, but why we paired. And the more you kind of taste, the more you can taste the food with the wine and be guided through that, I think the more you understand exactly what's going on. So
it's almost like, I was just thinking, it's almost like a European experience where you're sitting down and you tell your leisurely dinner and you're stopping to taste everything, rather than
Exactly.
the American experience of wolfing it all down. And
Sure,
watching
of getting
television.
one plate at a time and eating everything on it. Yeah, no, it really is, because you're able to have, with the smaller plates and the tapa style that we just did, you're able to have a little bit more concentration of flavor on that plate, because it's not, it's not everything on the plate at once, and you're really able to concentrate on what's going on in each individual dish or each individual part of that meal. It's a lot of fun. We're looking to do that again. Actually, in September, we have the Cornucopia event, which we are partnering with the Ohio Wine Producers Association and Connect 534, and that would be here on September 20th. So we're looking to do a tapas or another wine dinner then again in October, and that will be listed soon on our website. As far as classes go, though, we have a variety of other classes coming up. We have a kids classes are starting this month. Our first one, I have to look over here, the junior chef class is September 21st. And that is from ages 8 to 14. And it's going to be held once a month on a Sunday, once a month. And it's something that you can sign up for. And kids can bring their friends and they get to learn how to cook. Kind of like like you see the junior chef challenges on the cooking channel and that. They get to learn how to use a knife and how to make pasta and what goes into coming up with a recipe and putting that recipe together and shopping locally and healthy, and it's a really exciting series. So that will be once a month, and this month is cooking Italiano, but that will change. We're doing an Asian, we're doing a Latin, kind of keeping it fun and exciting for the kids. We had a couple how to open a B&B class. Andrea Bushweiler from the Lake House came in and instructed those, and she's been wonderful. We also have a home winemakers class coming up this coming Saturday morning, and then we are putting together two other classes that will take place over the winter time. One is going to be a day immersion class for those thinking about actually opening a winery. And that will be everything from advice in marketing, advice to your business plan, to finding the right terroir and the right location, to building your business. So it will be a little bit of everything. It will also include some time at a local winery to see the behind the scenes. So it will be like a day immersion type of class. And then we're also looking at building and putting the final touches on starting a small farm class. And again, that will take you from what the bank is looking for when you go to apply for a loan, to how to develop your business plan, to how to get the right information and the right demographics, to know where where the best place for your small agricultural business will be. Well, right now we're still, kind of getting our feet wet, getting all of our T's crossed and I's dotted with windows on Pairings here.
This is still very, very new. I mean, since June, so. Exactly.
June 22nd was our opening day to the public. So yeah, we are just barely 8 weeks into it. So the board and myself are all focused on getting to the next step and getting to the next phase. Like I said, we want to make sure that we have this part, all the kinks worked out and everything figured out, and can really go into development and fundraising for the next phase with this just being a well-oiled machine. So I think in the spring you'll see a lot more information coming out about the next phase of Pairings.
Then there's been talk about maybe putting in another building that would have like an auditorium type thing.
Yes, the next phase would actually be in the field that you see in front of us. It would have winery incubators, so for people who are looking to start a winery but don't maybe want to invest right off the bat in all the equipment for their own facility, they can come in, they can rent a space, they can get comfortable with making wine, they can get comfortable with using the equipment and using the facility, and get a little bit of training and participate in some of our educational classes while they're using the incubator space. And then within a year or two's time, they can kind of take their business and put it at their own location. Plus more space for classes, and especially more space for some cooking classes. You know, right now we do offer hands-on classes, but we do only have one set of grills, ovens, stovetops. So our hands-on classes do consist of some demonstration and some hands-on. But in the next phase, there would be more of a studio teaching kitchen, where it would be kind of a one-on-one with your grill and your station and everything around you. So that's really exciting. Thursday, in fact, tonight, we have a Meet Me at Pairings Thursday night, which is meant to be a little bit more of just a locals event. We have wonderful chef Lisa Delgado on the grill every Thursday, and we'll continue that during the winter even and move it inside. And we do a featured wine flight. So it's not just what's already on our list, but we actually bring in some winemakers. The promotion we have going on at Pairings right now is our Pairings kind of picture frame or window frame here. And this is a promotion obviously through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Get your picture taken behind the frame, post it to #visit Pairings Ohio, and on any of these sites, and you'll be entered automatically then to win an overnight stay at the lodge. And we will be drawing for that in November.